With unwavering fortitude, with honesty and integrity at the essence of his heart, and with countless aspirations, he has always been walking the path less traveled. During this journey, he has carved out a unique space, not just for himself, but for various organizations and individuals. Myriads of sustainable projects designed and developed by him bear his distinctive stamp. Meet the visionary entrepreneur Shripad Mirashi. Born on October 28, 1940 in Ichalkaranji in Kolhapur district of Maharashtra, young Shripad was fondly called by dear ones as Arvind. Shripad was a bright student who stood second in SSC exam in Kolhapur district and second in the board for excelling in subjects like Marathi and mathematics. Born to a humble family, for Shripad, scholarship earned on merit, his father's encouragement and motivation from the books he used to read were always the instrumental factors that helped him to continue the academic journey.
My education up to SSC was in Ichalkaranji. My father was a teacher and he was a very famous teacher in Ichalkaranji. He used to teach many students even without taking anything from them, just to encourage them. And I got encouragement from him, though monetarily he couldn't support, but I did many other things on scholarships. As a matter of fact, right up to BE Electrical, my education was on scholarships only.
His newly found liking for engineering brought him to the metropolis of Pune, where he decided to pursue his education from the prestigious College of Engineering, Pune.
My COEP days were nostalgic. At the same time, it was a very hard struggle, because I came from a place like Ichalkaranji or Sangli, and Pune was little hi-fi for us. And in the hostel, there were many boys from Mumbai and Pune, and all these, against all those people, I used to feel almost like a villager. And also I had to struggle hard for money, because engineering education is not that cheap, and at the same time, at that time there were not many, facilities of, education what you see now. Even I could not go for, the technical tours which college used to arrange. Even to go to Mumbai, I had no money. And for books also, I had to spend most of the time in library and looking for study, etc. But in spite of that, I maintained my first class at least.
As a student at COEP, his article was chosen as the best one among the Pune colleges.
I was very happy that Baba Borkar and Shankar Patil, the noted poet and story writer, were the judges, and they called me to All India Radio to deliver that article, and that was really a great moment for me.
He also worked as a secretary of Arts and Craft exhibition and participated in number of cultural programs. Finally, in 1962, as an electrical engineer, Shripad was set to face new challenges of life and surpass new horizons of aspirations. Initially, Shripad worked as a trainee engineer for few months in Kirloskar Electric Limited in Bangalore. Later, his 4 years in Ranchi with Heavy Engineering Corporation created a strong foothold that helped him when he joined Kirloskar Consultants as a project engineer in 1967. With Kirloskar as his Karma Bhumi, the next nearly 32 years were infused with relentless innovation, exploration, and unquenchable thirst for perfection and excellence. Initially with Kirloskar Consultants and later as a managing director of Kirloskar Engineering and Kirloskar Electrodyne, Mirashi transformed the company into a frontrunner organization with myriad ingenious projects.
Mr. S.L. Kirloskar was very curious about new things, and when he learned that we developed a tape recorder motor, and he was really excited to see, because it's a micro motor, and how we could develop such a tiny things. So he came to our division, and he had a long chat with me, and he was very much impressed with whatever work done. Thereafter, whenever anything new he wanted to do, he would remember me and he would call me to his office, discuss, and when he thought that yes, we can do it, he will say go ahead with it.
During his tenures, Mirashi interacted with three generations of Kirloskar family: Shantanu Rao Kirloskar, Chandrakant Kirloskar, and Sanjay Kirloskar.
My father had a very great opinion of Mr. Mirashi. To say it in Marathi, to use the right words, and I don't know whether this is the right thing to say, but he said that काय आपण मराठीत म्हणतो धडपड्या आहे की he has passion to do something. He is an extremely a person who is extremely innovative, likes to do things for the first time, and ensures that he gets success. He will work hard for that success, and that is why he wanted him to be in that company called Kirloskar Electrodyne.
Later, Mirashi also learnt a lot from Mr. Hans Knur, an ex-chairman of Knur AG, technical collaborators for consoles for electronics. During his tenure as a managing director, Kirloskar Electrodyne was not just manufacturing generating sets, but it also offered turnkey project management services in the areas of fuel handling and treatment of LDO, load sharing with grid, powerhouse engineering, control panel equipment, captive power systems, filtration system, and clean air equipments. Later in 90s, it also diversified itself into manufacturing of high-tech consoles required for electronics, electronic workstations, and technical furniture, spanning a range of over 50 manifold products.
He was a person who loved doing new things, and that was the best thing about being with Mr. Mirashi. The chances that one got to learn new things. And he was very upfront, very honest when there were failures, and the work that he did to rectify those failures. He was one person who wanted success, and he wanted success very badly. So he would never accept failure, and I think that's what any new budding entrepreneur should remember. He was an out-and-out professional manager, where he ensured that he did whatever was right for the company. Total honesty in his dealings with the organization, with the customers, with shareholders, with vendors. He was a person who one could intrinsically trust to do the right thing every single time. I also remember a very memorable incident, which was taking Kirloskar Electrodyne at that time public. It was a company that was oversubscribed, one of the companies that was most oversubscribed, the share issue, when the share issue came out. But every single act that needed to be done, he did it properly, again taking that towards success.
When the new generations came, the companies were split, the activities were divided, and considering this is going to happen, in my company Kirloskar Electrodyne Limited at that time, I decided to concentrate on our own products. Our own products means the suppliers will not dictate me, customers also will dictate me, and we will remain in the market as long as we are doing well. And so I concentrated on clean air equipment, oil filtration equipments, and consoles for electronics. These were three product lines. I started concentrating on that.
As a family, we decided that after the economic liberalization and after all the changes that had happened, that as a family we would stick to certain businesses and get out of other businesses, and one of the businesses that we decided to get out of was Kirloskar Electrodyne.
It was very evident that most of the staff and workers, they will be retrenched and they will be jobless, and at the same time whatever seeds were sown for last 3-4 years by me, they would have gone best.
And at that time, Mr. Mirashi actually stepped forward to take on the shareholding of the family.
I ventured at the age of 62 to ask Mr. Sanjay Kirloskar, can you sell me your shares? And the only condition I would say, or help I asked him, I don't want to take the bank loans, because that time the loans were nearly 4.5 crores plus 50 lakhs of public deposits.
It was our intention that after Mr. Mirashi, who had worked so hard within the group, that whatever needed to be done, we would also ensure that he would be able to get those shares.
So I said, this part of the loan you give me, I would like to clear the bank loan, I would like to clear the fixed deposits and take over the company. And I will pay your loan in 3 years.
So over a period of time, those shares were bought by Mr. Mirashi, and he had the full freedom to take the company forward in whichever direction he wanted to.
Then you see what happened, I could take care of majority of the staff and workers, and I didn't want them to be jobless. I didn't want whatever development was done for these new products to die, and this was a risk, but it was worth taking.
The new company, named as Envire Electrodyne Limited, soon grew into a leading manufacturer of quality products and systems in clean air and contamination control, technical furniture and oil cleaners for high-tech industries. Over 16 years, while he was presiding over, a wide gamut of products manufactured by Envire Electrodyne were highly appreciated in the market for its design, sustainability and efficiency. During his journey of integrity and innovation, Mirashi's family has always been standing through thick and thin and partaking in all his initiatives.
Basically, he is very inspiring, innovative, encouraging person. So he motivated, seeing my keen interest and the creativity in stitching, he asked me to make this clean room garments. So I could run that company for 10 to 12 years very successfully. And because of his liberty and supportiveness, or you can say the freedom given to me, I could keep all my interests still intact. till today also. As on today, like we have completed 53 years of togetherness, and such a long association. I definitely feel, and I can proudly tell you that it shows or it can prove the reasonably well good understanding between us. We really enjoy each other's company, and I'm really proud of him to have him as my life partner.
He is a self-made man, and he never had a power of money when he was born. But of course, he had lots of intelligence and zest to learn new things and to be someone in his life. And he has proved it. And since I was working with him, I have seen I've learned a lot. That was a good experience for me also.
Mirashi has always pursued his interest in sports like cricket and tennis. He was fortunate enough to play in a friendly match with the champions like former Indian captain of cricketing team Chandu Borde and national tennis player Nitin Keertane. Since his childhood, he has nurtured his deep love for painting, poetry and literature.
When I started working, the first painting I would have done in the Rourkela steel plant, when I was totally mesmerized with the beauty of the steel plant. And then when I became MD at the age of almost 34, 36, subsequent to that, there was a long lapse of time I could not do painting. And after retirement, I took it seriously. And one interesting thing I found in sketching, if you sketch somebody, that person becomes a friend of yours. And this I experienced while traveling, particularly when I went to Hanover, Germany, and I stayed in a family, and the family was very stubborn. They would not allow me to see TV, they will say don't do this, don't do that. So secretly I made a sketch of the landlady, and when I showed to her, she was so happy, and she then virtually, she was ironing my clothes also, and they gave me a very good, they took me around the city and good dinner. I mean, this changed the whole thing. This I experienced during the flights, I have experienced in meeting different people. This is one aspect of, I would say, the paintings. The second aspect, in the conferences when the speakers are dull, you start sketching, and it's a very good relaxation. Whenever I used to feel, even in the office, whenever I used to feel tense, etc., I would just take up a paper and do a bit of sketching, and I would again refresh myself. So that way I find the hobbies, they help you in life.
Those days, I think I remember that, beyond engineering and medicine, there was nothing which was people would take up, and it was a given that you go in for engineering or medicine. But he kind of encouraged me to even pursue design as my career when it was coming up as a very prominent vocation at that point in time. What I have learned from him is, to be independent, ambitious, and stand up on your own feet and do something for yourself. And that is something which he has always motivated and encouraged both of us to do. In our careers, we have tried to excel looking at the way my father has excelled throughout his career. I have also seen him develop his interest in painting. So probably something that comes, my creative interest that comes from him is looking at him, painting, writing poetry, trying to pursue his interests which he didn't have time for when he was growing up.
Because I had interest in sketching and painting, I mean, I am an amateur artist, but still that interest drove me to make the poem paintings. In the sense, you write a poem and you also depict the various sketches. I was fond of reading right from childhood. As a matter of fact, in the earlier days, when the things were very despairing around, the books were only my guide friends and philosophers.
Not just family members, but his colleagues too vouch for Mirashi's unflinching courage, indomitable spirit, and multifaceted interests in life.
In 2002, when Envire became a company detached from the Kirloskar Group, Shripad invited me to become director of his company. When I joined Envire as an independent director, I knew nothing about this company's background. I was very pleasantly surprised that they followed the SEBI guidelines. This is something which I learned from being a part of the Envire board.
Besides leading companies successfully, Mirashi has always worked as a motivational entrepreneur for a number of individuals who wish to build their business ventures. Till date, Mirashi has given opportunities for more than 50 entrepreneurs who wanted to start their own industrial enterprise. Today, these entrepreneurs have carved out their unique space as a leading small and medium-sized enterprise in design, manufacturing and servicing sectors.
Kirloskar Electronics Limited, headed by Mirashi Sir, was an institute for us. We learned technical and commercial things, and we handled independent responsibilities, and we could do something in our lives. Many of such employees developed their own entrepreneurship, and workers who used to work on the shop floor, they have their industries, and their annual turnover nowadays is in crores, 5, 6, 7 crores. They were just workers working on the shop floor. So that sort of grooming everybody had, and that's why I call Kirloskar Electronics Limited, headed by Mirashi Sir, as our institute. He encouraged us always, and that's why we could do something of our own.
Mr. Mirashi's nature is that he is to support the people who are really taking the challenges. Mr. Mirashi is time to time given us a boost, and which encourages us to take the more lead and complete the assignments.
Over last 50 years, Mirashi's endeavors have been recognized up-teen times by connoisseurs of the industry. During Mirashi's tenure of 44 years in the company, more than 20,000 equipments were sold and served all over India. Most of them were exported to various developed and developing countries. Supplied equipments to blue-chip companies, defense, ISRO, Prithvi and other missiles like Chandrayaan, etc. Today, with unwavering fortitude and with honesty and integrity at the essence of his heart, Mirashi's journey still continues.
When I look back at my life of past 44 years as promoter and MD of Kirloskar Electronics Limited and CMD of Envire Electronics Limited, wading through odds, I could achieve various milestones as an entrepreneur. But more so, I tried to motivate many people around who became successful entrepreneurs. This gives me more happiness. I am also grateful to my colleagues and family in this exciting journey.